If you're diving into the world of Amazon FBA, you're probably excited about the potential for success, but you might also be overwhelmed by all the legal stuff that you're supposed to figure out. Well, don't worry because I got you. In this video, I am going to walk you through everything that you need to know legally to set up your Amazon FBA business the right way. Not just so you can be profitable, but so you can protect yourself, scale your business with confidence, and not get blindsided by something later that could have been avoided. I will also cover trademarks versus patents and show you how to avoid expensive mistakes that most beginners make. So let's break down the 5 essential legal steps to set up your Amazon FBA business the right way. Step number 1 is choosing a business entity. This is the first thing that you should do before you start selling anything. You need to decide what legal structure your business will have. The main options that you have are DBA, which stands for doing business as, an LLC, which stands for limited liability company, or an S Corp or S Corporation. Now, let me break those down. A DBA is the most basic, budget-friendly, and it lets you operate under a business name that's different from your personal name. It allows you to open a business bank account and start selling, but here is the catch. A DBA will give you zero liability protection. Now, if something goes wrong, God forbid, your personal assets like your house, car, bank account could be on the line. That's why I usually recommend an LLC. Yes, it costs more to set up, but you get that legal protection that separates your personal and business finances. That's why I usually recommend an LLC. And yes, it does cost more to set up the LLC. It also makes you look more legit when dealing with suppliers, customers, and even when applying for business credit. Now, an S Corp is a bit more advanced. It offers potential tax advantages, but it is also more complex and it has more paperwork. What I usually recommend is to start with an LLC and later elect to be taxed as an S Corp when your business income grows. That way, you get the simplicity of an LLC with the tax benefits of an S Corp. So let's do a quick recap. So a DBA is more budget friendly, but it doesn't offer any protection, while an LLC is ideal for starting new and offers more liability protection. An S Corp, on the other hand, has more advanced tax benefits when your earning has increased. And step number 2 is getting your EIN, which is your employer identification number. And this is basically the social security number for your business. And it's how the IRS tracks your business for tax purposes. The good news is it's free, and all you have to do is just go to the IRS website, which is irs.gov, apply online, and you will get it instantly. You don't have to pay someone $50 or $100 to do this for you, and it can take less than 10 minutes. You will need your EIN to open a business bank account, file taxes, apply for business credit cards, and sometimes even work with suppliers. So I do recommend to go ahead and knock that out as early as possible. Now, here is something that I get asked a lot, and that is, should I name my business the same name as my brand? And the short answer to that is no. My advice is to keep your business name generic, like Cam Enterprises, because what ends up happening in many cases is that you might end up launching many products that are not related to your first brand, and you're asking yourself if you should have created a different name for your LLC, or if you should file a second LLC, which I don't recommend applying for multiple LLCs. When a product makes a lot of profit and you want to separate it from your LLC, at that point, you could either create a DBA under the LLC with that specific brand name so you can separate its finances and have a separate bank account to manage the finances for that specific product line. And the cool thing is that you can have as many DBAs as you want under your LLC. And if at that point you want to separate it completely, you could at that point create a second LLC and have it specifically branded under that brand name. But in the beginning, I do recommend just to have a generic name where you could use it to launch multiple product lines and see where that takes you. Step number 3 is to get your seller's permit if it's required in your state. And this one confuses a lot of people, especially if you haven't dealt with it at work. Maybe you haven't done a business transaction before. So a seller's permit is what allows you to collect sales tax on taxable goods in your state. Not every state requires it. And if you're selling in a state without sales tax like Oregon, you're probably off the hook. But if you're in California, Texas, Florida, or any of the 40 plus states that collect sales tax, you will likely need one. And the best way to check is by Googling this. Make sure you are on a .gov website, or maybe you can ask ChatGPT, but make sure to verify that information by checking a .gov website. And the application is usually free and it's very easy to apply. And here's a cool bonus. With a seller's permit, when you buy inventory, usually that inventory is tax-free from your supplier. So when you buy product to sell, you buy them tax-free. Now, a lot of new sellers get this wrong. Now, this can save you 5 to 10% on every order you place. This is money that you can use for branding, packaging, or shipping your products. So it's 5 to 10% of the product cost. That's more money in your pocket. And the cool thing about Amazon is that you don't have to worry about charging your customers with taxes, because Amazon will do that on your behalf, and they keep record of everything so you can have it. Step number 4 is to open a business account. And please don't skip this step, because mixing your business and personal finances is a nightmare when it comes time to do taxes or to apply for funding, or God forbid if you ever get sued, and I'll get to that in just a second. But to open a business bank account, all you need is your LLC or DBA paperwork and your EIN. Once you have those, you can walk into a bank, or you can even apply online. Now, I recommend checking out banks like the US Bank. It offers free business checking account, or Chase Business Checking, and you can use Novo, which is a great online only banking for entrepreneurs. And there's several that you can kind of Google or ask ChatGPT to kind of guide you on what some online banking options there are, but there are many options that you can go with. This is also really important for protecting your legal structure. If you form an LLC but use your personal bank account and you ever get sued, God forbid, for any reason, you could lose that legal protection, because now you've crossed the line between personal and business expenses, and the government or the court, they don't know how to distinguish the one from the other. So this is why it's important to separate your business from your personal expenses. And it's called piercing the corporate veil, and it happens more than people actually think. So keep it clean, separate your finances, and treat your business like a business. And this takes me to the final step, which is step number 5, getting a business credit card. Now, even if you don't think you need one right now, trust me, you do. Why? Because it helps you build a business credit. You can earn cash back or points, and it will keep your expenses organized and separate. So there are a ton of great cards out there, and I recommend looking up the most popular deals on business credit cards. You can just Google what are the top business credit cards and apply for the one that benefits you the most, the one with the most points or cash back or whatever deals that are out there. Some business credit cards even offer money if you spend a certain amount in the first, 3 months or so, and that's just free money or extra money in your pocket. So even if you're not spending a ton yet, use the card for things like inventory, Amazon seller tools like Helium 10, or software subscriptions and packaging or branding. As long as you pay it off on time and you're building a financial foundation that can help you get funding or loans or higher credit later down the road, I think all of it is going to become handy and beneficial once you have that under your belt. Just like your normal personal credit, having a business credit is really important. It just gives you access to more cash, and it allows you to grow in case you need to order more inventory ahead of time, or you need to apply for larger sums because you want to order a larger sum of inventory. So definitely work on that. And now I want to offer you a bonus, and that is something that most new Amazon sellers are not aware of or don't know much about. And it is a question of, should you get a patent or a trademark? So let's start with patents. Patents are expensive and they are time consuming. And honestly, you have to hire a lawyer in order to file for a patent. And 99% of the time, it is not worth it. Unless you've invented some new product, it's totally not worth applying for a patent. Because if you really think you have a patentable idea, what you could do is file for something called a provisional patent, which only costs you like $75, and it will give you 1 year of protection while you test the market for your product. You want to see if this is something that you want to spend time and money on, because it can cost you more than $10,000 and years of hiring lawyers. And also, if something happens, you have to file lawsuits and go to courts, and that costs a lot of money. So you have to think if you want to go down that route. And most of the time, it's not worth it. And you can fight things off with trademarks and other ways of not having copycats by standing out in the competition, by having a premium brand presence, having a great listing, great reviews. Most of the time, those things will do you a lot more good than a patent and less headache. Eventually, if you feel like your product is patent worthy, that 1 year, that provisional patent that buys you 1 year, you could use it to be like, okay, I want to file for a patent because I do qualify for a patent. And I do recommend talking to a lawyer about it, because a lot of people think patents work on anything and everything, but they don't. So it's really important to talk with a lawyer to see if it's even worth it to apply for a patent. But I don't recommend worrying about patents in the beginning. It's a rabbit hole that costs time and money. However, on the other hand, trademarks are totally worth it. If you plan to build a real brand, you want to lock down your name and your logo. And there are two types of trademarks. There is a word mark, which protects your brand name regardless of font or design. And there is the image mark, which protects a specific logo design. So getting a trademark not only helps protect your brand from copycats on Amazon and elsewhere, but it allows you to qualify for Amazon brand registry, which is something we are big on. And it gives you access to things like A+ content, video listings, and more. It shows Amazon that you are a legit brand owner, and also shows customers that you are legit. And because of that, Amazon support are usually more helpful with brand owners. And the cost is around $250 or $350, and it's really easy to file. You can file it yourself through the uspto.gov, or use a service like LegalZoom or Trademark Engine, or you can even hire a trademark lawyer if you want the help. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do that. And we actually have videos to specifically show you how to apply for that in our course. But this is something that you could do or learn yourself. It's fairly easy. Now, my final thoughts is that I know the legal stuff isn't the most exciting part of Amazon FBA, but if you skip these steps, you're setting yourself up for headaches down the line. By taking care of your business entity, your EIN, your seller's permit, your business bank account, and business credit card now, you're giving your business the structure that it needs to grow, scale, and stay protected down the line. Now, if you need more help, if you need more support, I'm a big advocate of getting mentors and support, or joining a community that helps you on this path or on this journey if you're thinking of starting an Amazon business. And I do recommend that, because if you don't know me, my name is Cam and I'm one of the coaches on the Passion Product team. I've joined Travis about 2 years ago, and I honestly haven't found success until I joined the Passion Product team. And that's because I didn't have the right guidance. I didn't have the right methodologies. We've done all the mistakes, so you don't have to. So we can show you what works and what doesn't, so we can give you a shortcut to success. I do recommend checking out the Passion Product formula. There's a link down below with a wait list that you can join, or if you want to ask questions, figure out if this is right for you, I do recommend checking out that link. If you found this helpful, make sure to like this video, drop a comment if you have any questions, and subscribe for more Amazon FBA content. I appreciate you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.